Hello and welcome to In the Court of the Wenton Knave. We've got to an interesting, strange entry in the catalogue. For it is Thrakattack. I nearly said Attack a Thrak then, which is a different thing. This is 57 minutes Thrak, basically. We've edited together, Thrakking some of the more interesting things of the 95. Now, there is also Attack a Thrak on the Thrak box, which gives the impression that this album wasn't a well-received album and there could be a better version of it. I think Attack a Thrak is better, but Attack a Thrak never gets quite so extreme and silly as this. So it is an extreme and silly album. It's probably towards the bottom of the catalogue in terms of the list of goodness. Goodness being the top goodness and the bottom goodness, and somewhere towards the bottom is this one. It's not one of the great albums. At the time, the next King Crimson album, and it's just a load of Thrakking. But it's certainly an interesting thing, and it's certainly that having Attack a Thrak doesn't completely make this defunct. Thrakattak is on the Thrak box as well, though, so you certainly don't need to get this. Certainly don't need to search for this and find it. It does say on the front, the sticker's gone because it's not in its plastic bag anymore. Warning: 57 minutes of improvised music and poster. So that's all like a poster. So the only way of getting the poster is to get Attack a Thrak. Is to get Thrakattack. Oh. A picture of the double trio. There you go. Or a fire bucket. Well, so yeah, like I said, you definitely need this essential album. That was sarcasm. Disc says, see booklet for details. What's in the booklet? Note from Robert. The idea for an album of Crimson improvisations seems to have appeared to several people around the same time. The first suggestion, of which I'm aware, was made by Trevor Mannering, whose suggestion at King Crimson rehearsals at Borehamwood in April 95. Now for me that's really strange, because it seems obvious that they could have made an entire album from 72-74 improvisations, and they never did. They almost did, obviously. I mean, half of Starless and Bubble Blackies, but not a whole one, strangely. And Thrakking is much less varied. So yeah, it's an obvious idea and they hadn't done it before, for whatever reason. Is it a bit of a letdown? I think at the time people were disappointed. There's certainly some cool stuff on here, and there's certainly some mad stuff on here, which is great. Thrakking is not like projects, and it's not like 70s improvisations. It's not that good. It's about making noises, isn't it? It's having said that, I mean, it's not like disc 2 of Ladies of the Road, which was just silly. This is great, but it's not a classic. So yeah, we're doing this here because it's done from 95 shows, not 96 shows. And it's logical. They've written, created all this music, kind of unpaid. They didn't have to. They could have just played another song that they already know. And it's only been heard by a fraction of the audience, just those people there, So, make an album. I should say, Attack a Thrak I think is excellent, and it is more listenable. But really, the reason this is defunct is what's coming. That's the real crux of it, really. So it is great, So track 1, we have the obligatory soundscapes into the Thrak riff. Then we've got some drummery stuff before we go into Fearless and Highly Thracked. Scary stuff. This is the scary stuff. Mad jumpy piano stuff, and it eventually goes quiet, but quite long, a bit long and pensive actually. It goes on a bit. I'm surprised so much time was spent on that. But I suppose the idea is you have generic Thrakking in track 2, and then track 3, the immortal. Mother, hold the candle steady while I shave the chicken's lip. Fantastic title, best title ever. Kind of really cool Crimson riff on piano synth into some sustains stuff. It goes completely mental after that. There's some evil bass. What I thought was the sound of a stream. Or is that the drill? I'm not sure. It was very strange. And some booming stuff. And then Bill actually plays a rhythm for a bit. I think it's Bill. And then another faster one as well. So it actually becomes a piece of music. And later on that definitely is the drill. Track 4 is Thrakattack Part 1. Then we have just mental noises. This is proper avant-garde stuff. And then the rhythm starts, and it actually makes sense. It actually makes sense as a piece of music. Then the drill returns. Track 5, The Slaughter of the Innocents. Another cool Crimson riff, and some soloing, and there's a woodblock rhythm of stuff going on. And is there a bit of Neurotica in there, maybe? There's certainly, I think, a bit of Lark's 4 in there. A little bit. Then it just goes silly with the Free as a Bird intro. So Adrian's starting to play Free as a Bird. And they're carrying on Thrakking over the top of him, so it's just silly. And there's some stick stuff. It really sounds like a voice, And it fades out quietly. And again, complete piece of music, pretty good. Track 6 is This Night Wounds Time, from the back of Starless and Bible Black. Cool rhythmic stuff, with some new samples, I think, and it's kind of a bit Gentle Giant almost. Some nice sustain from Baloo, not from Fripp. It's nice. I mean, this is the one that actually sounds a bit different. So it's nice, Whereas with 70-74, the improvisations were always very different. Although they did have a standard way of jamming in 72, certainly, and they tried to move away from it. But with Thrakking, so much of it sounds the same. This actually sounds different. It does go on for a bit though, and there's a lot of nice soundscaping, which is pretty good. But there's some really nice sustained stuff after that, and that really makes me think of 72-74. Track 7 is Thrakattack Part 2. More of the crazy stuff, more drilling. And then track 8, reprise of the riff. Do we need the reprise of the riff? I don't know, maybe we didn't. I don't know. But we're back into the riff anyway, and that's the album. And yeah, had I bought that as the next Crimson album, I would have been disappointed. But it doesn't mean it's not really interesting and cool. So that's Thrakattak. See you next week.